Welcome to The Voice Radio. I'm your host, Christy.
And I'm Jan.
On this episode of The Voice, we talk career options. It's registration time for college students right now. Jan, are you registered for spring?
I'm almost there. I just need to pick one more class.
Well, according to Statistics Canada, by graduation, the average student owes over $15,000 in debt. So here's a big question and a controversial one. Is college still worth it?
I mean, obviously, there are fields that require a degree. If you want to be a nurse, there isn't a way out of nursing school.
But today, there are a few who try a different path. Tej Kosa is a Surrey-based account manager at Spade Marketing, a startup he got involved with through an acquaintance. He knew from a young age that he didn't have an interest in college. Instead, he built sales experience, sought mentorship, networked, and did some independent research.
I think college can be worth it, but I don't think it's the only way anymore, you know? Like when I was in grade 9, that's what I decided. Like when my parents would tell me, why don't you pick something, you know? I was born in India, so I come from, you know, a typical immigrant family, like be a doctor, be a engineer, whatever it is. And I was never into that. I was always like, I played soccer as a kid, and I was always recording myself playing and uploading those videos on YouTube, you know, just trying to do something different. I didn't think school really focused on different.
Kosa isn't alone here. Over the last decade, domestic enrollment in BC public post-secondary schools has gone down by 15.8%, according to a provincial government report. While some of this is believed to be attributed to COVID-19, it still highlights a trend. Karen Begeman, who has spent over 20 years in the career counseling field, says some form of college education is still key.
Having some form of education is actually quite critical. And so I'm not going to say categorically that if you don't have, you know, post-secondary education, you're not going to find, you know, work beyond, minimum wage jobs.
Begeman does acknowledge there are cases of people developing in-demand skills on their own.
There are stories out there about, you know, just really bright people who've taught themselves coding. And they're just very, very good at it. And, you know, they get interviewed along with a whole slew of university grads and they get the job. Why? Because they could demonstrate they can do the job.
Yet she warns that on the whole, a lack of certification can hurt people's chances of sustainable long-term work. She counseled thoughtful, research-driven decisions about education.
When people ask me, should I go to school or not? My answer is usually do your research first. Find out, first of all, learn more about yourself. Find out what your strengths are, how you would like to use your skills in a job. And then you also really need to be aware of what the labor market needs are and how the two mesh.
Langara English instructor Toby Chernoff said college has more to offer than just a stepping stone to a career.
I honestly think there are faster ways to get wealthy than getting a degree, right? And I think education is valuable for all sorts of other stuff. It makes better citizenship. It makes you more able to follow news. It makes you better able to read the agreements you ignore when you click to agree to take iTunes or whatever. All of that stuff, learning how to be more critically aware of the world around you just makes us all a better society, you know.
Chernoff has a point about purposeful education and being aware of the world around you. One job sector that is critical to society but chronically understaffed is gerontology, which provides senior care through the lens of social service. Jasmine Rockwell, coordinator and instructor for the Gerontology Diploma program at Langara, explains why this field is vital and why it doesn't get the attention it needs.
The most challenging aspect would be the fact that it's only now becoming socially valued, I think. Like, the people who work in it know that how rewarding and that it is. It's just that we don't get a lot of space. Aging doesn't get a lot of space in our society. So finding your way, I think, to this line of work for some people is surprising that it even exists. They didn't know it's something they could do. They didn't maybe know that there's so many areas that a person could work in with older adults.
Rockwell said that while gerontology isn't a new concept, offering programs specifically designed to swiftly place people in the field are relatively new in BC. In 2018, Langara became the first post-secondary school in BC to offer an entry-level gerontology diploma program. A 2016 census found that, for the first time, seniors outnumbered children in Canada, and in 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic revealed critical understaffing in senior care and community-based careers. It's a field that will increase in need as the World Health Organization predicts numbers of the 65 and over population will double in the next 3 decades. Rockwell said that enrollment has been a slow trickle, which she attributes to a few factors.
I think that's partly because COVID last year infected our enrollment and that we couldn't get enough going. So we missed out on a year. But I think it is steady, and I think it's actually increasing over time, just because, as I said, this program is brand new. And so unless a person knows that it exists or that they actually want to do something called gerontology, it's a bit of a challenge to know where to find us.
You know, Christy, as an older student, I can say that my first attempt at college didn't go so well. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with a degree, and I ended up dropping out in my early 20s before re-enrolling last year.
That's not uncommon. According to a 2021 study done by the Student Transitions Project, the first-year return rate for students in BC is 79%, so you're not alone there. Many of Rockwell's students are older, having re-entered schooling with a little more life experience.
Another school sector that has been in the news a lot recently is supply chain and logistics. I spoke to coordinator Andrea Busca about the popularity of the program at Langara.
It has become quite popular. We had to expand, so we are adding a new intake. Our classes actually has grown, and we've seen a crazy amount of applications for the future intakes. So I kind of feel it's due to the fact that Vancouver is an kind of export-import hub.
Busca said the program is currently waitlisted due to its popularity. Like gerontology, the supply chain and logistics program attracts older students who may be pursuing a new interest. Unlike gerontology, this program is a postgraduate diploma, which requires that incoming students have a bachelor's degree in any field.
So it seems that although not all sectors require post-secondary education, fast-track, vocational-driven learning is vital for the community.
For sure. For anyone looking into fields they may not have thought of before or are trying to move in a different direction, now is the time.
For The Voice Radio, this has been Christy Walter and Jan Bevilacqua.